lot of people have asked me, how did I go from being in school person, a teacher, an administrator, to actually starting a company? And again, when I quit my job, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a company. I didn't have a book. I didn't have a contract. I just had to figure it out. And I spent a lot of time studying, business and trying to figure out what kind of company I wanted to create. And so what I decided to do is I decided to start with thinking through all of my quarrels with professional learning. So I thought about all the workshops that I'd sat through the years as a teacher and everything I hated about them, and I wrote them down. And what I tried to do was create a company that was the anti-that. I tried to create professional development that I wish I had had when I was a teacher. So things like okay, so I'll tell you one of my personal pet peeves, which is that I hate the parking lot. If I ask a question, it's because that question occurred to me in that moment. And when you put it in a parking lot and say, I'll get to your question later, it just irks me. So one of the things that we do at Mindsteps that's a little different is that we don't end with Q&A. We don't make you put your questions in a parking lot. We start the day with Q&A. And that way, the participants get to co-create the agenda with us. They get to have say about the kind of professional learning that they really want. When someone has a question, whenever it occurs to them, we are committed to addressing the question right then and there. And if it's something that we're going to cover later on, we give them the short answer, and then we bring it back up again when it comes to that part of the presentation or the workshop, so that they can get the immediate answer, but then they can still get the long-term answer. Another thing that I wanted to create was I wanted to create workshops that were really, really practical, where everyone could leave that day with a deeper understanding, they could leave that day with a solution, they could leave that day with something tangible. So our workshops follow a very predictable rhythm now. They learn a concept, they practice it. They learn a concept, they practice it. And then at the end of the day, it's about how do I apply it to my own work? And that's what's really important. So I set about kind of trying to design professional learning that I would like to participate in, and it's evolving. I mean, I'm so much better now than I was when I first started. I have a better sense of what I'm doing. When I first started, I talked too much. I tried to cram too much in a day. I was so excited about this information. Now, we've spread things out. We give people more time to process, more time to think about it. And then the other thing we do is when we have consultants who work with us, one of the things that we insist upon is that the consultants can't teach anything that they haven't done themselves. So our training process for our consultants is a couple of months long, and they're creating rigorous unit plans, or they're creating differentiated lessons, or they're creating student support plans. We don't teach it unless we've practiced it ourselves, because something about having that deep understanding means that we're able to answer questions when they come up. We're able to address issues as they arise, and we're not thrown off. So there's a freedom of being able to present that way. So, that's kind of that's the company I created. That's the kind of professional development I always want to deliver. I think that, we have a rule. We have two rules with PD. One is we have to make sure that it's clear enough that the worst teacher we've ever met would be able to walk out of that learning experience better. That's the first standard. And then the second standard is, would you want to sit in this workshop? And we're always asking ourselves those questions. If we wouldn't want to be there, we don't teach it.